The Daytona 500 is a special presentation of CBS Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me start your engine. It started in the 30s to run the alcohol. Big engines, fast cars out the local law. Them southern boys had so much fun, they thought they'd carry on. Race the cars on Daytona, and the stock car race was born. It's in our hearts, it's in our blood, it's in the cars we drive. As long as there's gasoline, this sport will never die. Let's go racing. Let's go racing. Let's go racing. Let's go racing. Fire up your engines, wait for the flag and go racing. Let's go. Let's go racing. Let's go racing. Let's go racing. Let's go racing. Some days you spin, some days you win. Hey boys, let's go racing. I'll see you at the track, boys.
It's become one of the toughest tickets in sports. Not just motorsports, but in all of sports. And 170,000 fortunate souls at the world center of speed are already on the edge of their seats, standing, waiting, anticipating one of the most competitive 500-mile events in the history of the great American race. After 17 years, the trials of one man in this race are foremost in many minds.
With his race truck driver Ron Hornaday looking in, offering a little last-minute coaching, Dale Earnhardt sits ready to go. He has 28 major race victories at this speedway, including 2 this week. But there's an empty spot on that trophy shelf. Dale, can you be the 8th man to win this race from the pole today?
I don't see no reason why not. We feel good about today. It's been a great week for us, and I want to thank everybody that had anything to do with it. It's been a big part of it. Want to send our thoughts and prayers out to my Uncle Jay and Aunt Ramona. We lost my cousin Lynn. It was my same age Friday to an accident, and so we'll send our prayers out to them. But it's going to be a good day. It's a great, beautiful day for racing, and everybody's up for it. These race fans are sure we're getting pumped up for it, so we're ready.
But Dale, is there any car here that can pull out and pass by itself?
Hopefully this Black 3 can.
Let's go high atop Daytona International Speedway. Ken Squier.
Sterling Marlin first came to Daytona in 1967. He was 10, set in a pickup truck to watch his dad in this race. Now he's the man of the hour, about to attempt to become the first man to ever win this race 3 straight years. His day starts as it does every Daytona 500, 5 a.m. in the morning. No chauffeur, no limo.
Got up at 5 and went to bed about, I don't know, 10:30 when the bush race was over. Checked it out. I ain't real good on turn signals. Give me 4 sunrisers. How about you got the chocolate donuts this morning? I'm just anxious to get going. Been down here 2 weeks, and car's running great, and I think we've got a really good chance to win the race today if everything goes right. About the same parking spot as last year. All right, we ready?
Every year we make the same. Yeah, it's right time too. There it is, right there. Let's do it.
Moments from the start, Dick Berggren is standing by with Sterling Marlin.
In 1994 and 1995, Sterling Marlin had the strongest race car in the Daytona 500. So how about it, Sterling? You get the strongest race car today?
Well, I tell you, all the boys on the Kodak team, man, they've done a great job, and the car's running great, and you know, we just got to be here at the end to battle for the win, and we just hope we're there.
Have you formed any pre-race drafting partners, or are you going to wait for the race to unfold to do that?
Well, you just got to wait for the race to unfold and see who's where, and you know, our car's running good, the 3, the Hendricks cars, the Yates cars, so it's a bunch of good cars to win this race, and yeah, we just need to be there at the end, and hopefully I'm leading with 3 or 4 to go.
Nobody's ever won it 3 times in a row. This guy could do it today. To David Hobbs.
Well, I'm with Ernie Irvin. Ernie, just 18 months ago, it was a miracle you even saw the light of day. Last Sunday, you got the outside pole, and Thursday, you led from flag to flag. It must seem like a dream come true.
Well, it definitely is. You know, it's just a dream come true that I was able to live and is able to race again. And hopefully this dream's going to keep continuing.
With the slight changes to the rules this year, these cars are even more even than usual. Just tell me how you expect to win this race today.
I don't even know. I expect to win just because, you know, we did all of our homework, and hopefully we'll put ourselves in the right position.
Well, there's a man who should know he's won it before the race. Ken?
They've all done their homework. 43 strong are out here on the grid, and they're ready to go for further for $3,600,000 in this 38th annual Daytona 500. There are so many great stories. We've covered 3 of them, and Ned Jarrett, 2-time Winston Cup champions, alongside again. I can't ever recall a year when there have been more human stories, more dramatic stories than we have in 1996.
Oh, a lot of great stories, Ken, and we've already heard about 3 of them, and certainly we can't leave out the 1995 NASCAR Winston Cup champion, Jeff Gordon. He won 7 races on his way to the title a year ago, and he has a strong car for today. How about Dale Jarrett? He won the Busch Clash a week ago. He won the 1993 Daytona 500. He, too, has a strong car. He's a teammate with Ernie Irvin. And there are many other hopefuls in this field that certainly have a chance at winning, and their role in this race will play out as the race goes on here this afternoon. Ken, I think the competition is a little bit closer than we've seen it in a long, long time here at Daytona. NASCAR has mandated the engines can have no more than 14-to-1 compression ratio, which is reduced to horsepower some 40 to 50, but slowed them down about 4 miles an hour. You'd never notice that out on the racetrack with the cars going around the track, but what it's done is brought the field closer together. The last place man in this race can draft with the man on the pole if he can get to him, and I think we're going to see a lot of drafting going on here this afternoon and a lot of 2 and 3 abreast racing.
And the practice became so intense. 4 times they had to stop it because they were getting just too racy. Well, also joining us for the first time this year is a well-known face to many race fans in America. You may remember him from 1980. That's when he flashed a victory in the Daytona 500 at the fastest rate that this race has ever been run, 177 miles an hour. That was Buddy Baker then, and this is Buddy Baker now. It's a delight to have you join us.
Well, thank you, Ken. And Ned's talking about the parity between the race cars here. There's one difference this year. The Ford, the Pontiac, they're in the fight this time. They have as much downforce as the Monte Carlo Chevrolet. So we're in for one heck of a great race today, and I can't wait for it to get started.
Let me tell you, folks, you've got in the front 10, 5 Fords and 5 Chevys. You've got 6 Pontiacs. They've all qualified. This is not going to be a story about tires as it has sometimes, not a story about engines as it has sometimes. True, there's technology here, but that's the bottom line, the technology. This race, this 38th Daytona 500 is a race for drivers. It is the great American race, and it's going to bring out the best in 43 of NASCAR's finest. Stay with us, relax if you can, and enjoy it.
CBS Sports presentation of the Daytona 500 is sponsored by Mobil Motor Oil. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years. Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by Sears, the official battery of NASCAR.
Okay. All right.
Time to get you a new pair of skids.
Well, I tried. They were out of my... Thank you. Thank you. I asked him who pulled the tape off the front of the car, the driver.
I'm here.
Ned and Kenner.
Hold on,
No, not
but
yet.
he's not on yet. Yeah, I'm here. I'm all set. That's right.
Yes, I do, Steve. It may seem a strange sport here in Daytona that starts the season with its biggest event. It's Super Bowl, but racing is by no means backwards. Look at the drivers are even on the internet, including the man whom it took 17 years to finally win the Great American Race, 3-time national champ Darrell Waltrip. What does it mean to a driver to go to victory lane on this day?
Well, this is the greatest race we have. This is, as I always say, our Super Bowl. Every sport has something that sets it apart from every event, you know, that they run, and this is it right here. But this is a beautiful day in Florida. It's on national TV. All my friends and fans are watching. I want to do something good for them.
Good luck, Darrell, starting 40th. Here's Ken Squier.
Let's go immediately trackside for more of the pre-race ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for today's invocation by the Reverend Hal Marchman.
Let us pray. Almighty God, on this wonderful day, here in the midst of the excitement of the world's greatest stock car race, we pause to confess that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and those that dwell therein. And we confess that we are your children, you are our God, and we invoke your blessings on all of the people from all over the world who are gathered here this day. And may your eternal spirit abide with us all and make us adequate for all of life. Shalom and amen.
To sing our national anthem, world-renowned recording artist Engelbert Humperdinck.
By the dawn's early light, once a
Here is the starting lineup for the 1996 Daytona 500.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the field of 43
start for the first time from the pole, Dale Earnhardt, alongside the 91 Daytona champion, Ernie Irvan. In row 2, two-time and going for 3 in a row, Sterling Marlin. And beside him, Ken Schrader. For row 3, twice a runner-up in the 500, Texas Terry Labonte and John Andretti of Indianapolis. Going to row 4, the 93 500 winner, Dale Jarrett, and the defending Winston Cup champion, Jeff Gordon. In row 5, it's Wally Dallenbach Jr. and Ricky Rudd. Row 6 is Michael Waltrip, first ride for the Wood Brothers, and Morgan Shepherd. Row 7, Ward Burton and the 26-year-old Kentucky native Jeremy Mayfield. Row 8, Mark Martin and Jeff Burton. For row 9, it's Mike Wallace and Elton Sawyer. In row 10, Pennsylvania's Mr. Excitement Jimmy Spencer and Ted Musgrave. In row 11, the 85 and 87 Daytona champion Bill Elliott and the 1990 winner Derek Cope. In row 12, the 29th consecutive Daytona 500 for Dave Marcus and Loy Allen Jr. Row 13 is Robert Presley and Steve Grissom, winner yesterday in the Grand National race. Row 14, Johnny Benson and Dick Trickle. For row 15, it's Kyle Petty and Chad Little. Row 16 is Rick Mast and Lake Speed. Row 17, Kenny Wallace and Jeff Purvis. Row 18, Bobby Labonte and the sophomore from Maine, Ricky Craven. In row 19, it's Joe Nemechek and the 86 winner, Jeff Bodine. In row 20, driving for Richard Petty, Bobby Hamilton, and the 89 winner of the 500 alongside Darrell Waltrip. In row 21, Brett Bodine and Hut Strickland. And starting 43rd on the field, Rusty Wallace. The field about to roll out. 24 Fords, 13 Chevrolets, 6 Pontiacs for the 38th running of the Daytona 500. Dale Jarrett's camera giving us these pictures. Most ever onboard cameras, 9 for this Daytona 500. The field rolling away, ladies and gentlemen. We're just about ready to go racing here on CBS with the lion of the races, the Daytona 500. Green flag coming up. Stay with us.
Lee Petty and Johnny Beauchamp cross the start-finish line side by...
The first of 3 preliminary laps has been completed. Field getting set for a start. Take a look at the weather. It gives us a chance to say what we like to say best. You couldn't have a better day for a race.
Ken, you're right about that. 59 degrees, these motors will pull like you wouldn't believe today.
We're running on a 2.5-mile asphalt tri-oval, banking 31 degrees in the turns, 18 degrees on the tri-oval, 6 degrees on the backstretch.
And there you see the race analysis. It's $3.6 million at stake. 500 miles, 200 laps the distance, and some guy named Baker set the track record for 500 miles at 177. 9 in-cars today, buddy. 9 of them. Count them. 9. Take a look at them, for that matter. The pole sitter, first time in his career. Dale Earnhardt for the 500. Onboard camera looking pretty relaxed out there in a seat he puts in himself. And Sterling Marlin going for 3 in a row, what no one has ever done before. It's the look from on top of car number 4. Ken Schrader, he'll be starting in 4th position beside Marlin in the car number 25. Remember, he had his hands full at Talladega, end over end, side over side, some 9 times when last we saw him on CBS this past August. And here's Dale Jarrett, 93 winner that gave us that great finish when Ned got to call him home.
That was a special day.
The guy a lot of people say is going to surprise today. Jeff Gordon will start in 8th position, and there's the view from car number 24, the DuPont car. And coming up next, a major dark horse. This is Cale Yarborough's number 98, the RCA car, and Jeremy Mayfield. He has run as fast as anyone all week. But the most popular driver in the history of NASCAR, year after year, 11 straight, Bill Elliott, back there in 21st position. Don't discount his chances here today. The spotters standing by. They'll have their hands full with this field running so tight. Two cars have already pulled and gone to the rear. The 11 of Brett Bodine, the 18, the Joe Gibbs car, Bobby Labonte. Remember, he rolled over the other day, and there's 18 on pit road and getting ready to come back out again after they made this quick stop and fuel.
What he did is just come in and top off the fuel. They've run a couple of laps here under caution, and you know that might give him an extra lap under green flag conditions and help him out later on. Darrell Waltrip also stopped.
As to those other cars carrying onboard cameras, here's Mark Martin. Squeezed back into the 15th position in this all-star field. Martin, number 6 in the Valvoline car. And back in 14th, old DW. Darrell Waltrip celebrated, what, his 49th birthday, starting 40th today. Car number 17. Took him 17 years to win this race. Earnhardt thinking about the same thing right now as he gets ready to go.
See all of those seagulls, and they're going to be flying away there in a little bit when those cars come down that backstretch at full speed.
And you see the cars moving back and forth there, putting a little heat into the tires before they drop the green flag. That's real important to get the tires up where they get maximum grip when you go down in turn 1.
Come fly away with us on CBS into the world of NASCAR stock car racing today. Only one race has been run in less than 3 hours. Baker did it at 2 hours, 57 minutes. There you see Earnhardt on the pole. We don't expect that kind of race today, but here again, that's why they run races. You never can tell.
We'll try and cover the distance as fast
Green, this time by.
anyone else to see if they can be the winner of the 38th Daytona 500. Field now working off of turn number 4.
For those technical-minded people, these cars can go about 50 laps on a tank of fuel.
Pace car's bringing him down. Pace car's still out. Watch. There's the move. It's in.
Here comes the field towards the start.
It's on.
100 feet from the start-finish line, coming down. Green flag is in the air. 100 in the lead.
Looks like Ernie Irvin might have a little jump on Dale Earnhardt as they go into turn 1 there. Usually Earnhardt gets a tremendous jump, but as you can see, Irvin on the outside there getting side by side with Earnhardt as they start down the long back straightaway here.
And 3 wide. Marlin to the inside. We talked about how racy they were in practice. 3 times they had to bring them in. 4.
Because they were racing 2 and 3 abreast.
And 4 wide going into turn 1 once.
But Marlin had to back off that time going into the turn.
Look how far Earnhardt has slipped back through the field. He's dropped from 8 or 9 positions. That's him right there in the 3 car. He starts down the front straightaway. He did not have a good start.
Well, he wanted to lead that first lap. There are 5 bonus points that goes to any driver who leads a lap.
4 wide for a moment through the tri-oval as Earnhardt hung it on the bottom. Staying in front, Ernie Irvan, Schrader second, Marlin third, John Andretti up to 4th, Jeff Gordon in there in 5th.
It takes about 2 laps for these cars to get up to full speed because of the restrictions that are put on the carburetor and the engines.
Riding with Gordon. See Schrader pocketed just down inside of him, John Andretti just in front.
You know, Ned, just as it was in the 125s, you see Ernie Irvan moving along there. That car is really hooked up. The people that hadn't got to watch practice this week, the Fords and the Pontiacs have really closed the gap in downforce. The cars really handle as well as the Chevrolets, and where, as you can see right now, they can run high or low. It's really fast this year.
Andretti going high. Look how high he's going, trying to take over the lead up there. Jeff Gordon's going to try to follow him through, and look what he's doing for Ernie Irvan.
Dropping him back. That middle is not the place to be.
Absolutely not. He wants to get out of there as quick as he can.
Schrader leading.
Here comes Earnhardt making it 4 deep, going under Dale Jarrett and Ernie Irvan. Jarrett backed off and let Irvan get back in. That's his teammate, so he wanted to give him a spot back before he went too far back.
You know, that's an average day at the office for Earnhardt. He makes those moves all 500 miles. It's very common for him to make moves like that.
Back to the tri-oval. 7.5 miles down with Schrader out in front. Dick Berggren has this report.
Richard Childress says don't worry about his driver Dale Earnhardt. They just got to run on him at the start. Nothing's wrong with the car. They are fine. Ken Squier.
Locked in a battle for 5th place with Gordon. There you see Gordon trying the outside. They've got Labonte in the middle.
Now, Terry's a very patient person. He'll fall out of that group. He does not like the middle part of this pack, I guarantee you.
He is a cool customer.
See John Andretti there, the 37 car. Everybody says he's a dark horse in this race. I don't think he's dark horse. He's run well all week long. In practice, he's been one of the fastest cars here.
So versatile, just like his famous uncle. Midget, sprint, stocks.
Of course, his famous uncle is Mario Andretti, who won the Daytona 500 back in 1967. There they go.
For the lead. Right back at it another time. Earnhardt squirrels that car onto the bottom of the track, squares it away in turn number 2. What a move, and here comes Texas Terry right along with him. Front of the field, Earnhardt is there, Labonte, Ernie Irvan moving back up. There you see Schrader in 4th. Then it's Sterling Marlin fading a bit high, and back to the inside comes John Andretti in number 37. Smooth and easy thus far. The best of the best here in the 500 as you look back over the field. Nobody's going to get a chance to sit down if they keep running like this. It's the 3rd different guy to lead thus far.
See Terry Labonte on the outside there now. If Ernie Irvan gets behind Dale Earnhardt, you talk about a fast twosome. Those guys will go to war here.
Bill Elliott easing on up the track in number 94.
Just in front of him, that's Jeff Burton there with his new ride in the Roush car.
Elliott back there in 19th spot at the present time.
This is a new look for Dale Jarrett there. He's the 3rd car on the inside. The number 88 car. He's been very, very fast in practice all week long here.
Elliott's picked up just 2 spots from the start. Interval 1st to 43rd. Interval 1st to 43rd. 3.6 seconds.
And that's what about the space that it takes to put them in, because they're running that close together.
Okay, Ned, we have the first situation where we have team cars fixing to get together here. Dale's right behind Ernie Irvan. Do you think it's going to start working this early in the race?
He's been trying his best to help Ernie get back up there after Ernie got sort of hung out there in the middle a little bit ago.
Cancel that plan on the outside there. Terry Labonte and Schrader are hooked up. You see them on the outside there. They're going to work as hard as they can to get back to the front also.
Of course, their teammates as well from the Hendrick Motorsports team.
Terry Labonte, who won 3 races last year, looking good at the present time. He's another guy. Take a look at some of this interval. I mean, there isn't any. That's what the interval is through lap 6. Over the front 5 of the field, Earnhardt, Irvin, Jarrett, Labonte, and Dallenbach in that white and black numbered 15, having a terrific run. That's a 1-race-only deal for the Bud Moore team. One of the great names in NASCAR racing coming here without a sponsor. Picked one up at the last minute, and Dallenbach has picked that car up into number 15 into the 5th position. Losing one. Dallenbach under heavy pressure. Schrader, Martin, Ward Burton in the 22. That's the leading Pontiac in the race. Ward Burton's number 22, 3 wide, going to 1.
Dale Jarrett got caught in the middle that time.
See Dallenbach there. He may have one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. He's now battling it out for 3rd spot there. He's on the bottom side of Terry Labonte as they go down the back straightaway.
Dallenbach, who started in 9th position today, creeping along on the inside.
One car has slowed dramatically coming off of turn 2. It is Dick Trickle off the pace.
And he was having a great run in that final happy hour of practice on Saturday. He was as formidable as anything out here. Now the car is slowing down. Oh, car in trouble. It's Jeff Gordon in the wall. Warden pasted the wall, picked it back up. He's trying to work his way to the bottom of the track. He couldn't get in. Everybody's still squirrely. There goes the 29. The guy that won yesterday, Grissom loose. He gets tagged by Nemechek. 2 more cars spinning. Is that Rusty Wallace getting tagged? Wallace working his way up, and Rick Mast in that collision. Well, that's what we were concerned about when you run them that tight together. Gordon made an incredible recovery, but behind him, everybody trying to take evasive action.
See Earnhardt waving there to let everybody know there's a problem on the racetrack. That's so people don't run up behind him too fast and maybe collect him.
Jeff Gordon, who tagged the wall, coming off 4. Grissom's number 29. Let's get to Mike Joy.
Jeff Gordon says he was hit from behind. He has a rear tire going down, and he reports no fuel pressure. They may put this car behind the wall or take it to the garage, Ken.
Cut a line.
He's got a lot of damage on that car. I noticed the rear end housing looks like it's moved over a little bit. The right front was mashed down pretty bad.
And probably what it did is mash the fuel line shut. That doesn't allow him to get fuel from the fuel cell through the fuel pump to the carburetor.
I don't think he's going to make it back. He stopped on the back straightaway here. You see him motioning right now. He would love for somebody to come out and push him around. They'll be out shortly to bring him back to the pits.
Curtain down on car number 24, and it looks like it may be curtains for Jeff Gordon here this afternoon. The Hoosier hotshot in trouble early in this Daytona 500.
I would guess we'll see him back in the race, but certainly his chances of winning this race have been practically diminished.
Watch Gordon at number 24.
High up on the racetrack. They're almost 3 deep there, and yes, he does get tagged just a little bit.
That's
from
Jeremy Mayfield just behind him in the RCA car. He got into him and turned him in. He just got into the wall pretty hard there.
What a recovery.
Now behind him, that's just a chain reaction. When you have everybody slowing down, the cars further back in there couldn't react fast enough.
Here's Gordon getting tagged.
Boy, he tagged that wall pretty good, too. Trying to get it down to the inside, but as Buddy said, as everybody else trying to take evasive action, try to slow down, they get hit, spun around, and a lot of things going on behind him.
All that smoke you see there, that's the tires rubbing on the inner panels and all. Wow, he hits hard.
Mayfield right behind him. Fades down, and Mayfield getting through there. It's the ones just behind those two who really had a story to tell. Take a look at this angle.
See, Jeremy gets just into the left rear corner and hard into the wall. Jeff Gordon goes.
What, 187 miles an hour, and he still picked it up. Oh, a great move.
There goes Steve Grissom across the grass in the 29 car.
And unfortunately, he slides back up on the track. And gets tagged by
Nemechek.
Joe Nemechek.
There you see Wallace, who'd started dead last, and Rick Mast in the number 1, landing right in the center of the track. That was in lap 8.
Now, maybe not too much damage to Rick Mast and Rusty Wallace. They've both been in the pits and have gone back out.
But a lot of damage to Joe Nemechek. Looks like the end of the day for him, as well as for Grissom. We'll be back with more of the 38th running of the Daytona 500 after these messages. Today's overhead shots are courtesy of the Goodyear blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. At the controls, Captain Richard Daniels from Burbank, California. Under caution, watching Jeff Gordon's car be pushed back behind the wall, and for the second straight year on lap 8, Joe Nemechek out of this event. That's exactly the lap where he left activities in 1995. Joe Nemechek of Lakeland, Florida, back in the garage area. Here's Dick Berggren.
How quickly fortunes can change at Daytona. Yesterday, Steve Grissom won the Grand National race here. Today, he is in the pit area as his crew works over a badly damaged car. The back end of this automobile is all torn up, and he is going to have problems getting back up to speed. There's more to the story. This is only the second time they've tried to run the car. They wrecked it in practice here when they were trying to do some testing much earlier. To Mike Joy.
Dick, someone has an oil leak, or someone in that impact sprayed a lot of oil from the dry sump tank. Bill Elliott's windshield is coated with oil, and so is Ward Burton's. Burton radioed the crew thinking it might be his car leaking. They said, nope, it was somebody involved in that incident, or it was somebody else. Stay out there. Ken?
Well, the bet would be right here, number 24, Ray Evernham and company, rolling that Rick Hendrick DuPont car back into the garage area.
This is the second year in a row Jeff Gordon's had trouble in the 500. Last year they dropped the jack and bent the front end all up on the car. Now you see them working on the car, trying to get it back out here because those points are so valuable if they can get the car where to go back into the race.
Field reorganizing. Here you see Rusty Wallace. Remember, he spun. You see a little tape on that car. That new paint job, you can't tell if it's tape or paint. It's tape up there over the fender on the right side.
But no major damage there. Let's go to the pits and David Hobbs.
Jeff Gordon, current champion. Lousy way to start the year. What happened?
I don't know. Maybe you could tell me better. You know, it's just real tight racing out there, and I got to the outside of Mayfield going into 3. and I was up against the wall as far as I could get to make sure we didn't touch, and somehow we did touch. So bad deal. We had a pretty good car, and we were just waiting for everybody to get single file so we could start racing. It's so tight out there, and man, you didn't know what was going to happen.
It looked incredibly close. I mean, the whole field just went round as one big block there for those first 8 laps. I mean, how was this going to shake out?
Well, that's part of, this new deal that we've got with lack of horsepower. It tightens the competition up tremendously, and, but we're all professionals, so we know how to drive these cars. But it was, it was real tight, but I don't know what happened to me.
You're going to be back in the race, you think?
Yeah, we'll be out there. We're not going to be any kind of contention. We're just going to ride around there, I guess, kind of like we did here last year. We hadn't had too good of luck here the last couple of years.
And get a few points, though. Back to you, Ken.
Well, last year he rode around to 22nd position, and it made a big difference in the point story at the end of the year when they went to Atlanta. They come by, and as they come to the stripe, they will have completed 14 laps, 35 miles, and we go back to green with Earnhardt out in front. Earnhardt leading as they come to the line.
And Ken, what this has done has put the cars in single file. They don't restart them in double file after a caution.
Ned, that'll last to the back straightaway, and all of a sudden this won't be single file anymore. There's a lot of cars that want to get to the front. A lot of people want to go with Earnhardt and Irvin down through that back straightaway there. You watch them, they'll start blending out.
Earnhardt in front, where he wants to stay for the end of this one, probably more than anything else in his career. He says, if I don't win this race, I'll start to be known as the Buffalo Bills of NASCAR. Nobody remembers who finishes second unless it's them or me in the Daytona 500. He's out in front right now, leading over Ernie Irvin, with Terry Labonte hanging right in there. Having a good ride.
You see him bouncing in that seat. He still uses the old-timey van seat that has springs and all in it. Most people have gone to a real rigid seat that you don't have any spring whatsoever. Not Earnhardt. He says what works for him to win his 7 championships, he's going to stay with it.
And he puts the seat in himself.
Absolutely. Will not let anybody else touch it. Look at Wally Dallenbach making a move on the outside of John Andretti down the back straightaway.
Well, actually, John Andretti's making a move on him on the inside. Last time by the start-finish line, Dale Jarrett and Sterling Marlin drafted past Dallenbach, and Jarrett moved up to 5th, Marlin to 6th.
And keep an eye on that number 22 rambling up through. Warren Burton in that Pontiac looking very strong right now. Mrs. Davis's car looking good.
They don't want to run side by side too long. They'll get in trouble doing that. They need to single file out and run that front group back down. You see, they're running single file. As they go in the corner, they'll make up a tremendous amount of distance on those groups running side by side.
Dale Jarrett made a run on Ken Schrader, got by him going into turn 1, moves him up to 4th. So that was one car that I saw pull out and make a pass without any help. A little surprising, really.
Ernie Irvin got his break.
Boy, he got
Dale Earnhardt. He almost got into his tail end that time.
He really did.
Whoa, it's close. Look at this battle for the lead. That's Ernie Irvin strutting his stuff. This looks like the first lap as they came down. But draft is on the inside, and those three working together. There's Dale Jarrett down there in that 88. Pressing right through with Ernie Irvin and Terry Labonte. Terry Labonte in the second. Irvin drops back a couple of spots.
See Sterling.
Take a look just a little further back here. Tell you, see that green car on the outside? That's that number 71. You know who that is? That is the guy making his 29th start in this race, Dave Marcus. Right there. Fighting with Jeremy Mayfield and as well with the number 99 of Jeff Burton, Burton's brother. But Dave Marcus is having a great ride. He's got a new sponsor up there and running in 13th at the present time.
Doing a great job. That sponsorship, he says, will let him hire some more people and also do a little better work on their engines. Here's Terry Labonte going for the lead.
There is another dark horse that can win it all. This is his 18th start in the 500. I mean, he's right in there with Earnhardt. Earnhardt has sort of covered everyone else up with his misfortunes in this race. But Terry Labonte has been so close. 20 cars in that lead pack that you're watching right now. Terry Labonte starting this race, that was his 507th consecutive start. 7 more, and he'll break Richard Petty's record of 5:13 that Richard set back in that period from 71 to 89. That's the guy that's out in front right now, Texas Terry Labonte in number 5.
He's going to lead for a second, but there's a couple of cars just behind him that don't like running second and third, and that's Ernie Irvin in third place. In second place there, Dale Earnhardt. You watch for them to make a move here pretty quick.
Let's check in with David Hobbs.
Ken, I'm down with Joe Nemechek. 16 laps in 2 years, Joe. This is not the way to go at the Daytona 500. What happened this time?
It's definitely not. Well, from my vantage point, somebody got in the wall coming off of turn 4, and next thing you know, everybody's trying to miss, check up, and then I think Steve Grissom went sliding through the infield, and it's a major chaos. I just feel sorry for Burger King and Delco, Remy, and Cintas, all these people to help me, and especially the team. We had a good qualifying run, and Daytona just hadn't been our place.
Oh, well, there's a very sad Joe Nemechek. They're putting the car together again, and he'll be back in there, but again, not many points, Ken.
No, not many points indeed. First out. Labonte leading. Earnhardt hanging on in second. Ernie Irvin third. Schrader fourth. Wally Dallenbach fifth.
Yeah, as I was saying, Ned, Wally Dallenbach is moving up.
Yeah, he is now. He got him a good draft there on Ernie Irvin. Moved right back up there. He and Ken Schrader, as a matter of fact, got together, and he moved back up to 5th place.
6 is Sterling Marlin. Then in 7th is Dale Jarrett. 8th is Ricky Rudd in the 10 car. And then comes John Andretti in that 37, and he's got his hands full in that struggle with Ward Burton up on the outside, and Michael Waltrip, who's taken over in the Wood Brothers, number 21. That's a good struggle. Andretti, for the moment, has the position by about, what, half a foot, buddy?
About like that. Right now, the inside car, John Andretti needs some people working with him. He's just a little, you see him moving up. He knows he'd lost the draft. You don't want to get down there by yourself because you go from first to last in about 2 seconds there.
21 laps have now been completed in the 38th running of the Daytona 500. 21 laps, 52.5 miles, with Terry Labonte now leading. .11 cars in the lead draft. As you watch number 88, Dale Jarrett, pressing on the inside, moving himself to 5th as he gets under Wally Dallenbach, and still continues to climb that number 88 back into this race. The 93 winner. You've got 11 cars running less than a half second apart.
Here's Sterling Marlin, Dallenbach running side by side there for the 6th position. And it doesn't take long. Those front 5 cars will pull away quickly if they continue to run side by side. But up front, we got some cars running side by side too.
Yes, Ernie Irvin's on the inside there. Terry Labonte's going with him. Oh, he's going to make it 3 wide going in the corner there.
And bringing Schrader. Schrader dives to the inside with his teammate from Hendrick Racing. And Labonte goes back up into the lead. Earnhardt back to second. Schrader on the inside on the comeback trail from a miserable 1995. Last race of the year, went to Atlanta and blew up. He said, there, that's good. That finishes this year. We'll start afresh in 96. Right now, oh, here comes down to the inside Dale Jarrett in number 88. Nice move by Jarrett. Gets up in the second spot. The Ford Quality Care, number 88, down on the bottom. That's the picture from Earnhardt's car. Schrader inches that number 25 up. They almost touch at 190 miles an hour. Live on CBS, the 38th running of the Daytona 500. Jarrett going for the lead.
He, like everybody else, wants to get 5 bonus points if he possibly can.
Ford on the inside, Chevy on the outside. And down to the line they come. It looks like it's going to be Jarrett picking up those points. But Schrader makes a move. Ooh, almost touched on the number 3.
Here comes Earnhardt back on the outside, trying to get back up to the lead. Oh, we have contact. Ernie Irvin into the wall.
Ernie Irvin getting slapped coming out of the tri-oval and lifting. A lot of smoke pouring out of that car. He's still up on the high side.
And I think there's a lot of damage to that car, Ken, unfortunately.
Caution not out as yet. He stays way up on the track.
Caution is coming out.
Caution now out. Racing back to the line early in the race. You can see him come across in a fairly gentlemanly manner here. Getting that last 100 miles, and you'll see a skirmish out of that turn 4 under a caution flag. To the line, it will be Dale Jarrett leading with Terry Labonte in second. Sterling Marlin third. Schrader fourth. And Michael Waltrip comes up into 5th spot with Wally Dallenbach 6 across the line. Ricky Rudd, Ward Burton back there in 8th.
Well, you can see that right front on the Ernie Irvin car. Good bit of damage there. The right front tire is flat, but there's also sheet metal damage. But he should be able to get it fixed and get back out there. How much it has taken away from his ability to run with those front runners, don't know.
Now watch up on the side of your screen there up against the wall. He gets tagged. It looked like maybe Dallenbach was in there underneath him. But they were 3 and 4 wide there. Just ran out of room coming off that tri-oval. Another look. Maybe we'll catch it here.
Yeah, Dallenbach gets into the left rear corner and he goes up into the wall pretty hard there. There's a lot of contact there on the right front corner of Ernie Irvin's car.
They say that the Earnhardt car may have a tire going down. Take a look at that one in a moment as we follow Ernie Irvin in here with the Robert Yates Texaco Haviland car.
Now we've gone about what they're coming around to complete 29 laps. Will they pit? They're about halfway, a little more than halfway through what would be a pit stop as far as fuel is concerned.
72.5 miles.
I expect we'll see them come in.
Already in is Irvin. You see him here bringing the car to a halt. That crew right there to look it over. Larry McReynolds, blonde-haired guy, and it just now crouching down.
Here come the leaders.
Jarrett, Labonte, Marlin, Schrader, Waltrip, Dallenbach, Rudd, Ward Burton leading the entire field down on the pit road. Going to be busy down there for a moment. Speed limit on pit road today?
65. Feels like they're crawling after running 190 miles an hour out on the racetrack.
Earnhardt in. Take a look under caution here as they continue with Dale Jarrett's car on the top of your screen. Labonte, Sterling Marlin all out under caution. See the activity along pit road as they try to get out here. Track position will be critical in this 500. We'll take a quick commercial break and then be back with more of the 38th running Daytona 500. You're right. We're wrong.
This race summary is sponsored by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
Back at Daytona, let's take a look at the race summary after 75 miles, 5 different leaders, lead changes. We've had 8 of them thus far. 150-mile-an-hour average, and a couple of cautions have pulled things back. 6 laps under caution thus far. Cars officially out of the race. Although Nemechek's car for sure. They're going to try to get it back out here, but it's battered and bruised. Take a look at what happened just a moment ago here.
Okay, Ken, as they came through the tri-oval here at Daytona, you see Earnhardt in the black car right there. It appears if he might have backed off just a little bit, whether it was because of the heavy traffic. Someone said he thought he might have had a tire going down, and when he did, Irvin might have had to check up right there. And as we move it forward, we will see that Wally Dallenbach will get into Irvin. Irvin had nowhere to go except right into the wall once he got hit.
For more on this story, here's Dick Berggren.
Well, Ned, you're absolutely right. There was something wrong with Earnhardt's car, and the thing that was wrong, the ignition simply quit on him. It just dropped out. So Ernie Irvin, who's now trying to get his car back behind pit wall, it's so damaged they can't even roll it. Ernie Irvin just ran into him. So they switched the ignition boxes. Now, there's only 2 of those on the race car. Earnhardt's down to his last one. Mike Joy?
Down to Mark Martin's pitch. Butch Hilton, the right rear tire changer, got upended on that stop, but he is okay. Steve Meal takes very careful, copious notes of every pit stop and every set of tires. You've taken the temperatures of the tires that came off Mark's car. What do they tell you?
I didn't.
Tire temps, what did they tell you?
Oh, they look good. We're tight, just like Mark said. And it's always just what Mark says. The buildups aren't terrible, so we just probably had a little bit too much wedge in the car. We took some wedge out on that stop. It's real frustrating. You know, there's 2 lines of really fast cars. We're going to have to show a lot of presence on pit road. We're going to have to show a lot of patience on the racetrack. Maybe we'll get something worked out. Right now, there's just a bunch of fast race cars.
Steve Meal. Ken Squier.
31 laps. Completed 32 when they come by to take green. So as they come back to race conditions, 80 of the 500 miles will be complete here at Daytona today. And Robert Presley, after these pit stops, finds himself the recipient of 5 points. As you take a look at the running order, Jeremy Mayfield pulls himself into 2nd position, and you have Michael Waltrip in 3rd, Sterling Marlin in 4th, and Bobby Hamilton in the Richard Petty car now up into 5th. Ken Schrader will be 6th, and guy who refers to himself as the other Dale, Dale Jarrett, who pulled himself up to the lead a little bit back here, Dale Jarrett is right there in 6th spot as we watch Ernie Urban's car being worked on.
Ken, I think some of the cars, Robert Presley, who is up front, I think he might have only changed 2 tires, the right side tires. Most of them took on 4 tires, but I think some of those that are up there that were pretty far back did just take on 2 tires, and they did it to get track position.
You see there, they're using the jack to turn that car. The steering's bent up so bad that they can't drive it with a steering wheel. They're having to lead him around through the pits with the jack on the right front.
Green coming back with Robert Presley in that green and white number 33. Jackson Racing bringing the field down, and 28-year-old Jeremy Mayfield right there in 2nd spot from the Cale Yarborough team. Tony Kerr did a great job of putting together a year-old car, that number 98 in 2nd spot.
And how about that 33 car, Robert Presley out front? Andy Petrie is the crew chief on that car this year. He was the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt for the last 3 years. They won 2 championships while Andy was there, but he went over to the Leo Jackson team. Robert Presley in his 2nd year as a driver in Winston Cup Racing, up front here right now.
Andy to get a little piece of that team as well. Look at Michael Waltrip making his move on the outside for the Wood brothers, and Sterling Marlin coming with him.
Yeah, he figures maybe that Michael might be faster right now, so he's going to follow and push him right through there. And boy, you can do so much in the draft here. Oh boy, he just bipped down to the inside, and buddy, that's an indication if he only took on 2 tires, might have a tough time keeping it down low on the racetrack.
Well, you can see that the 21 of Michael Waltrip's handling very well. He was high on the racetrack, turned down and went under Robert Presley. But I don't know that I would want to leave Marlin that quick. I would have probably took him with me, but it's working right now. Michael Waltrip is going into the lead into turn 1. You see Presley fighting back on the outside.
And you see another Ford backed right up behind the 21. The 300th start for Michael Waltrip, still scratching for that first win.
Boy, look him take off into turn 3 there, buddy.
Wally Dallenbach's all the way down on the apron. He needs to get back up on that racetrack before he gets to the corner. You saw Ward Burton going in there on the flat.
Ward Burton right on the bottom in the 22 gets himself up. Here's 98 Jeremy Mayfield making that run. Take a look at Jeremy Mayfield's telemetry out here in the number 98 as he comes by and squares himself up for 2nd place.
Wow, 7,300 with the restrictor plate. That's pretty strong, Ned. That draft is really working. You see 193 there on the straightaway.
Well, he got up to 198 just before he went into that turn, and then he got into the turn, get back down a little bit. And you can see it picking up as he goes down the backstretch as they get in that draft. 196, 97 we saw there one time.
Well, Cale Yarborough has put all of his eggs in this Mayfield basket, and it looks like he's made a great choice. And look, back to 2nd spot from 6 comes car number 88.
It just don't hardly get any better than this, Ken. Look, 2 by 2 as they head down into turn 1. That's at 198 miles an hour. They turn off, they scrub off a little speed, as Ned said, in the corner. But look at Texas Terry come up there in 2nd place in the number 5 car. John Andretti in 3rd.
And here comes Schrader back another time. Jeremy Mayfield falling back 4 spots after he left the tri-oval and headed for turn 1. Talk about driver racing. Mayfield getting hung out there, and John Andretti for the moment trying to win this one for Tim Brewer, who as a crew chief has never won this race. Here's Dick Bergen.
Well, Ernie Urban is out of the car. He's taking a walk around, taking a look at the damage. How bad is this thing?
Well, it's not good enough to be able to out there racing wide open. So they're going to go ahead and try to fix it. Just we'll get back out there and try to get her some points.
They won his 125-mile qualifier, but today it's in the junkyard. Mike Joy?
Dick, that first set of tires off Dale Earnhardt's car showed that the right rear was worn half again as much as the left rear. Earnhardt's car was really loose in that first run. Ken?
It may have been loose, but let's see what's going to happen now as he gets to this point where we're up toward 90 miles. He can clamber back into this thing.
Tell you who's really been losing on this right here was Sterling Marlin. He chose to go on the outside up there behind Robert Presley. Hadn't been able to get out from up there. He's still in that line up on the outside, and others just going by him down on the inside.
That number 3 car of Earnhardt fought its way back to 9th. Now he's trying to close in on these leaders. As you see, Andretti, Labonte, Dale Jarrett leading that group. Kenny Schrader, Wally Dallenbach there, and Ward Burton in that 22. Earnhardt from 15th back to 7th and trying to close in on this flock of cars. Here's the number 5 back again for the lead, Terry Labonte.
And the train will go by. He went by on the inside, and Dale Jarrett just caught there.
You can see what the draft means to any race car here. When you have 4 or 5 cars lined up in a line like that and you get out of the draft, boy, you're at the mercy of the court. You see Dale Jarrett went from the lead to 6th in just one straightaway.
Just watch and listen to Terry Labonte when he cranks one out here. For error in that kind of racing. Here's Earnhardt on the inside of Ward Burton in the 22, clipping off another one. Whatever medicine they gave car number 3, it sure did the trick.
There's Wally Dellenberg. He's worked his way all the way up to 3rd there in the Bud Moore Ford. That thing is not even sponsored after they leave Daytona, so it's very important he has a great run today.
John Andretti falls back into 4th. As they continue to seesaw, now 25 cars in the lead draft, and here comes Earnhardt. Three wide. Earnhardt on the bottom in that 3 wide, going into the corner, and there you see the interval he needs to make up. And if he makes it up, he'll bring that whole group with him.
Well, anybody back here watching this race today, if you want to know what the driver sees, that's a picture of what you see. That's as close to being in the driver's seat, that last angle that we had in the camera there, as you can get.
Front 4 out in front, but the posse's about to catch them. And Earnhardt leads that group. Mike Joy.
Gary Dehart twice today has seen his car get out front. Gary, do you want him out front, or as long as he's in that lead draft, does it much matter where he is?
It seems to want to lead a whole lot better than it wants to follow. So right now we're just telling him to stay out front as much as he can. And the car's really pretty good compared to everybody else's notes. You know, we've been scanning them, and it's some cars out there a little loose. We just got a little skatey a while ago and went down another pound of air pressure. We're pretty good right now. We'll just wait and see how the day goes, you know.
Say so, Ken Squier.
40 laps, 100 miles have been put in the record book today. Terry Labonte, for the moment, likes to ride that car out in front, feels good out there, and he looks good out there. As after 17 tries in his 18th effort here, he's leading the 500. But look at the pressure being applied by his own teammate, Ken Schrader, and Dallenbach, and Andretti, and Earnhardt, and Rudd. It's some race, this great American race, this February here at Daytona.
Just exactly what we expected, Ken.
Oh, look at Earnhardt fade to the outside. He's ridden that bottom rail. Now he's going to try the stair steps.
Well, he's just trying anything right now. He went to the inside of Andretti and couldn't make the pass. Now Andretti's trying to come back on the inside, but Earnhardt finally gets by John Andretti.
Earnhardt going for Wally Dallenbach, the Colorado driver. Still Labonte leading. Still Schrader in second. Chevy's hitched up and flying. The Ford of Dallenbach lies there in third. Then the Chevrolet of Earnhardt, and then the Ford of John Andretti. Followed by the Ford of Ricky Rudd. That's a Ford for Mike Waltrip. And then the Pontiac, 8th, Ward Burton, number 22.
They're running laps close to what they qualified at here.
Here comes John Andretti back on the outside of Earnhardt. They've done this musical chair thing about 4 or 5 times in the last 5 laps. And with him is Ricky Rudd. You see Ward Burton tucking in behind Earnhardt, trying to get a run up through there.
Now, for the novice fans out there, when we talk about drafting, when one car runs up behind another, it'll pick the speed of both of them up. And you need 2 cars running together. They can run faster than one car can run by itself. The closer a car runs to another one, the more effective the drafting is.
Nose to tail, but side by side won't get it done unless you got a lot of folks to help you. CBS Sports coverage of the Daytona 500 will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports presentation of the Daytona 500 is sponsored by the all-new Ford F-150, strength after strength after strength. Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team. This bug's for you. And by AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Providing today's pictures from above, the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. Goodyear Blimps are now in their 4th decade of live sports coverage. Back at Daytona, working lap number 47 at the present time as Terry Labonte stays in first. You see John Andretti holding right on, and you're riding with Sterling Marlin a little further back in the field. Sterling is now in 10th position. Chance at history today. 73 and 74. Richard Petty won this race back-to-back. 83 and 84. Cale was successful at that, but they couldn't pull off that third. Will Sterling do it today? Stay with us. There you see the Pontiac, number 22, hanging right in there and looking very strong in the early going of this race. Ward Burton just checked on his latest position. He's back in 15th. Just behind him is Ricky Craven in 16th. Number 41, Richard Presley, has taken over for crew chief role in that car.
I'm not sure, but I thought I saw a little smoke coming out of Burton's car as he was going down the front straightaway there. I'm not sure exactly. It might be just a little bit of fender rub or what, but I did notice a little smoke as he come off the trioval.
On the 22?
Yes.
Take a look at Ward Burton again here in a moment and see what the story is on the Bill Davis car. Ward Burton, we may have an answer right here for you, buddy. Good point you made, and they're checking some tape. We may be able to show you why you saw a little smoke. As you watch them come back, here's John Andretti coming in for second spot, and Ricky Rudd coming up on the inside. Take a look at this right here. This may be your smoke.
Oh, he hit the wall pretty hard coming off 4. That's him right there in front of the green car that you see coming down the straightaway. That wasn't just casual contact. That was a pretty good hit.
And you see him slowing down now, Ned.
Yes, he has to be very concerned. Is there a fender rubbing against the tire? It doesn't take long for them to cut him down if that is the case.
Perhaps Mike can tell us more.
Team manager Clyde Booth, what happened to Ward?
Well, all of a sudden after that last stop, we just got real tight, and as a result of that, he was trying to run high, get up and hit the wall. We've knocked the front fender into the tires. We've got to come down pit road now and put right sides on and take the fender off the tire.
Under the green, it'll be a costly stop, Ken.
Set him down at least a lap. There's one of Pontiac's greatest hopes in this race, young Ward Burton. Still, it's Terry Labonte, John Andretti, and Schrader, 1, 2, 3.
I'm not going to look at any more cars because I seen something in the back of Schrader's car then as he went through the corner. I'm not exactly sure what it was. He may be running a little warm. It is a nice day out, but I did see a little bit of liquid out of the 25 car as he started in turn 1.
Baker Witchcraft as we take a look at car number 22 on pit road. Continue to follow the race on the top of your screen. There you see the top 3 and then the interval of about, 12-15 car lengths. Back to a real scramble that's going on for 5th position. Ricky Rudd, who was replaced on the Rick Hendricks stable by Terry Labonte on the tail end of that draft, and Terry Labonte trying to hold on to that lead. Ricky Rudd with his own team these days.
Ned, you see Dale Earnhardt on the outside of Sterling Marlin there. He is not making a charge back to the front like I thought he would after they found the ignition not working properly, but he's running a very patient race. He may have a lot more car than we're seeing right at the moment.
I expect he needs an adjustment on that car, buddy. I don't think that it's handling quite the way that he would like for it to right now. Just wants to hang on there until they make another pit stop and then try to move to the front.
50 laps, 125 miles have been docketed. There you see the top 4 and that interval back to the 5th position. And in that spot is Michael Waltrip having a good run with the Wood Brothers. That's his first time out in Wood Brothers number 21. They've won this Daytona 500, the Wood Brothers that is, on 4 occasions. Cale Yarborough's great run, or Tiny Lund winning this race for them. And of course 76, who will ever forget the maroon, white, and gold, just chugging over the finish line after tagging with Richard Petty and David Pearson, winning his only 500.
Those 4 cars trying to pull away, running single file, putting a little distance between them and the 5th place car of Michael Waltrip.
Michael Waltrip's showing a lot of muscle there. He looks like he's running that front group back down, but somebody's crept into the second pack of cars there. Mark Martin is moving up. He has a real good downforce car. What we mean by that is the car gets a lot of downforce, a lot of pull down towards the racetrack in the corner. It gives it really good grip in long runs.
Wally Dallenbach has fallen back into 28th position now with car 15. Slipping back is car number 28, and here's Dick Berggren.
Earnhardt never having won the Daytona 500, but there are a lot of other guys who haven't won the Daytona 500, like John Andretti, who is running in second spot right now, and his crew chief, Tim Brewer, who has started over 600 races in his career, won 53 of them, never at Daytona. How about it, Tim? Is this your best shot at this thing?
You know, we've had some pretty good opportunities over the years with Bill Elliott, Cale Yarborough, but, you know, we've always come up like second place. But, you know, that's one of those deals to where...
Trouble on the racetrack.
We've got trouble on the racetrack, and it may be Derek Coates, number 12, throwing out a lot of smoke coming down through the tri-oval area. He, too, is tagged hard. Kenny Schrader waving the rest of the field off that there's been trouble ahead. Bobby Allison Racing. Guy that won this race in 1990, Derek Coate, brings the car to rest after trouble up here in turn 4. It's become Calamity Corner again today, turn 4 here at Daytona.
Man, a lot of damage on that right front corner, the right rear. You can see the front fenders peel back all the way, and it's hanging back past the door.
Replay from behind. Let's see if we can catch what happened here.
You know, Ned, it looked like the car might have been pushing a little bit, and he tried to keep his foot in it coming off the corner, and maybe just got into the wall.
We have another angle here. Maybe that's already in the wall. I wonder if something happened in a second or two before that as he was coming just off the corner.
Well, I think we've already heard that Ward Burton had picked up a push in his car. I think several others had picked up pushes as well. The car got tighter on them in the front end, wanted to go out towards the wall as it came off of the turns. He could have even had a tire to go down that caused him to do that.
Derek Cope steps away from car number 12 in the hopes of a second Daytona 500 win in 1996. Coming up next, it's NCAA basketball on CBS. The Big Ten's leading scorer, Brian Evan, leads the Indiana Hoosiers against the Michigan Wolverines. Big Ten rivals meet. Indiana versus Michigan next on CBS Sports. Number 12 being taken back to the garage, and it's a day over for Derek Cope. Here's Dick Berger.
Derek, what happened? Well, we've been fighting push, real bad air push in the car, and I think a lot of people are suffering the same problem. And you know, you got to start trying to lift a little bit coming off the corners, and the car just wouldn't turn at all. I mean, you just turn the wheel all the way left, and it wouldn't turn, got in the wall.
What's happening out there that we've got so much problem? Any idea?
I don't know. It's just something aerodynamically, I think. Right now, we're just suffering. We've had it before, but, you know, just nothing you could do. The car just wants you to take off and push, and you can't get the car to turn. You got to get out of the gas, and when people get up underneath you, it causes a lot of problems.
Ken Squier?
Thank you for that report on Derek Cope. Sad moment for that Bobby Allison team. Hope to have the... Let's take a look at the CBS race schedule. Here's Grissom's number 29 getting ready to come back out. Coming up, June the 23rd, the Michigan 400. What a great race that always is. And then the Ned, July 28th, the Die Hard 500. Look forward to that one at Talladega, Alabama.
That's always a great race.
And Busch Grand National Racing is coming to CBS this year. We're going to go to Watkins Glen, New York on the road course. What a great race they had up there last year, and we enjoyed that. Then Talladega, that's brand new on the schedule at 500K, 340-mile race. And the season finale, the Jiffy Lube Miami 300 on Sunday, November the 3rd. Oh yeah, and trucks, too.
Oh, yeah.
Trucks, too, those Craftsman trucks. Colorado, Milwaukee, Louisville, and their season finale on November 3rd in Vegas.
Those are exciting events to watch.
I'm going to tell anybody that's watching right now, never been to a super truck race, they need to see one. I guarantee you, they don't just ride around. That's great racing.
Oh, this guy's been to several truck races. Yes, indeed. Yep. Yep. I'm telling you, 3's going to win. I think that's what he was saying. All right, now lap summary here. 56 laps. Leaders, 9 different leaders. Lead changes, 14. Average speed down to 145 miles an hour. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Again, down at the west end of pit road, everything was pretty routine. Bill Elliott, Ricky Rudd, Jeremy Mayfield, the Sterling Marlin car, Kenny Schrader, all got 4 tires, and all the handling adjustments are not being made with the wedge wrench. Just a pound or a half a pound difference in air pressure, mainly in the rear tires. One driver who really needed this caution, Wally Dallenbach. That's 2 pieces of good news for Bud Moore today. He had a tire going down, had to come in anyway. Also, Bud's one race sponsor signed up this morning for the whole season. David Hobbs.
Well, it would appear that the reason that Dale Jarrett dropped so far back was his car was getting really loose. In other words, oversteering badly here on the speedway, and he wasn't sure whether he had a tire going down or the right fender was rubbing on the tire. When he came in, the right fender was rubbing on the tire. They've taped it up, straightened it out, put 4 new ones on, so he's feeling better now.
Well, that was great news to hear that Bud Moore has a sponsor buddy for the full year, because he's been around this sport as long as anyone, and it was certainly going to be sad to see him miss any races.
That's like saying the Daytona 500 wouldn't be NASCAR. I mean, Bud Moore's been around. I mean, he is tradition. I've drove his cars, and they're great race cars.
Won in those cars. Talladega, didn't you? Didn't you pull one out of Talladega?
3 in a row.
3 in a row? Yeah. Seems like it was so long ago.
Oh, thanks.
58 laps, 145 miles down when they come by to take green this time. 16 lead changes. Boy, this time last year there have been 3 lead changes in the race. They're getting with the program. Now you see Mr. Relaxed out here, Mr. Cool, Mr. Earnhardt getting ready to see what he can do about this, running in 8th position.
Terry Labonte came out ahead, out of the pits again.
Tell you what was interesting to me on Friday, Earnhardt pulled the curtain down. He stopped talking to everybody. He simply focused on this race. He wouldn't talk to the press. You know, NASCAR makes this big thing about how available they are. And the last time he pulled that curtain down was when Neil was killed, right here on the same spot he's driving right now on the track. He just pulled the curtain down, went out and practiced as much as he could, stayed away from everyone. You know how badly he wants to win this race.
And so do about 40 others out there. And we're getting ready to go at it again. Green flag.
Put up 59, get us to 147.5 miles as they came on through. On the restart, Labonte, Schrader, Michael Waltrip, Blake Speed up there in the front 4. John Andretti 5th, Sterling Marlin 6th, Robert Presley 7th. That's Dale Earnhardt for 8th, Ricky Rudd, Bill Elliott rounding out the top 10, and just behind them, Mark Martin 11th, and Jeff Burton's number 99 is in 12th position.
Well, if we've ever had a chance to see what's going to happen as far as the team effect here, that's Terry Labonte running for Hendricks, and the 25 car just behind him there, that's Ken Schrader. And they seem to be working together pretty well right at the moment. You don't see any passing for the lead, and I guarantee you if they wasn't teammates, they'd be fighting it out right now.
As we see these cars come down the front straightaway, Joe Nemechek, who was involved in an early wreck, has gone back out on the racetrack, minus a lot of sheet metal. But he's going back out to make some laps. There he is down on the inside. You can see a lot of the front end of that race car is gone, at least as far as the sheet metal is concerned. He won't be able to run competitively, but he wants to run as many laps as he can.
Joe Nemechek pulling back out with front panels missing, the hood missing on that car. Up in front, number 9. It's good to see Harry Melling's colors back up here in the front of this race. Remember 1985, Blake Speed had himself a second in this race, now driving for Harry Melling. As you look at Nemechek for second, back on the track. 8, 9 cars in that lead group. Terry Labonte in first, Schrader in second, Michael Waltrip right there. Blake Speed hanging on to fourth, and Andretti hanging on to him. Robert Presley back in the group again, trying to move under Sterling Marlin.
Seems to me when somebody gets under Sterling today, his car tends to run up the racetrack. That tells me the chassis is pretty tight on that car, but look how it goes down the straightaway. He runs right back on the back of John Andretti down the back straightaway. Now as they start in the corner, he breathes the car a little bit, pulls it right on the white line. Watch him close up now.
He certainly has plenty of horsepower under the hood compared to others. He's that engine builder. Pittman is always right up there among the best of them.
Riding with Sterling Marlin in 6th position here through the tri-oval, 17-degree banking.
You can see John Andretti saying, okay, Sterling, I'm going to go to the bottom there with a hand signal. Now they're trying to make the pass on the bottom side. Blake Speed's caught on the outside. You see how fast you can go by when you're in the draft.
That pulls Marlin up into 5th. Let's check in with the Jarrett in the Quality Care Ford credit card car.
He's following Dave Marcus. They are pretty far back behind that lead draft.
14th?
Yeah, there are 12 cars in the lead draft, and then they're back 300 or 400 yards.
And here's DW. Waltrip still out here trying. He's had nothing but bad luck with engines. He's running 32nd at the present time. They finally borrowed a motor from Morgan McClure. Oh, how do you like that chrome helmet? Huh? Pretty shiny.
He's even got silver shoes, Ken.
We're showing 32 cars in the lead lap.
I just had a clock on Dave Marcus. Now, the elapsed time around the track when Dale Earnhardt qualified for the pole was 49 seconds, 49 and 49 hundredths of a second. Dave Marcus just ran a 49.37 the last time around with Dale Jarrett right on his bumper. They're picking up on that lead group.
Earnhardt pulling in on Sterling Marlin.
See Sterling's car running a nice straight line through the corner. Now as he starts off, that's where a lot of the cars were pushing up off the corner. His car seems to turn quite well there. Here's Kenny Schrader getting passed by Sterling Marlin as we head into turn 1, and Earnhardt's trying to go with him.
So this is up front. Now get yourself Terry Labonte up into that lead. Schrader falling back for the moment. John Andretti on the hunt.
Dave Marcus ran even faster the last time around. He is pulling some cars around here at an absolute speed that we didn't think that they'd be able to go. They're running in single file, and while those cars are racing up there, that's helping Dave Marcus, but he is coming on.
Marlin to Earnhardt, Earnhardt to Marlin. That's the view. Labonte still in front, John Andretti in second, and this duo right here are third and fourth. 65 laps complete, 162.5 miles. Just joining us, 15 lead changes among 9 drivers thus far in the race, 3 caution periods, and some great racing. Things settled down for the moment and stabilized. Over the last several laps, it's been Terry Labonte leading the way with John Andretti right there, and then you see the rest of them getting into it.
Ken, let me correct myself. I said a moment ago 49 seconds. Earnhardt, it was 47.49 that he won the pole with, and didn't want to mislead anybody. As we see that racing continue up front, there's Mark Martin down on the inside.
Michael Waltrip in the 21 starting to pull away from him. The 33, the green car from the outside, Robert Presley, and back once again to this duo. Third and fourth right there on your screen, wide open around the high banks of Daytona. We're back with you at Daytona. Along with Ned Jarrett and Buddy Baker, I'm Ken Squier, top side, following the 38th annual 500. Race cam giving you these pictures from Mark Martin's view, and down to the bottom, there you see Dale Jarrett making his move. This is a battle back in 9th spot, and Jarrett is the man on the move, as well as Mark Martin.
Mark, he just passed Mark a lap or two ago, and Mark was trying to hook up with him as he came up through there. Jarrett and Marcus had caught this group, and then Jarrett went on around Marcus and decided to try to head on to the front.
This is for 9th position. That's Lake Speed just in front of Mark Martin, trying to take 9th away on the inside. Number 88, the 93 champion, Dale Jarrett. That Quality Care Ford credit car clambering back through the field another time.
You can see that telemetry there, buddy. They're getting up to, what, 67 or so hundred RPMs, 190 miles an hour.
We were going down the back straightaway, 6,800 down the back straightaway.
Saw it hit 194 there at one point.
Yeah, he had to get on it, and he had to get on it early. He had to check up on Lake Speed.
Well, Mark's running a little higher line right now, but he seems to be running just as fast as the guys that run right down in the preferred line around the bottom of the racetrack, so he's running well.
And back with the leaders, Earnhardt beginning to thump the drum. Back up there in the lead. Here he comes. Around Sterling Marlin, going looking for the Ford of John Andretti. The Cranifus Haas, number 37, there in second spot. And Earnhardt You can drive it inside, outside, any way you want it on this racetrack. Takes it to the outside. Here comes Marlin back with him.
Yeah, he's beginning to flex his muscles a little bit. We talked about him there a little bit ago. He's been biding his time, trying to move around the 7-time champion.
See, Sterling's getting a little bit better grip getting into the corner than Earnhardt. He pulled him almost a full car lap through that corner as they start down the front straightaway.
I love to play racer sometimes, you know.
Michael Waltrip gets up in Earnhardt just a little bit. Now that is just where the car gets in the draft. There's a lot of wind that goes down the side of these race cars that kind of pull him over into Earnhardt just momentarily. That don't even get your attention hardly. I said hardly.
Gave him a little more room that time.
You know, Ricky Rudd's got to be very pleased. The new crew chief this year, he's right up in the front. He's been up in the front all day today. Richard Broom has to have a big smile on his face because it's his first race with Ricky Rudd, and they're doing a great job.
Here comes Schrader up on the outside, and if he and Earnhardt get together, and look at Bill Elliott.
He's getting racy
into this. He's getting racy for sure. All for the lead. In the great American race, the Daytona 500. If you're just joining us, it has been a rip snorter from lap 1. They've been running like this from the outset, but Terry Labonte has been the man to watch. Stays out in front, the 84 Winston Cup champion, trying to win his first 500. It's his 18th try. Right now, he looks invincible, but so have 5 other drivers so far that have led this thing. Here's Dick Berggren.
To follow through on our conversation with Tim Brewer, crew chief for John Andretti, Brewer has been timing cars all day, and he said there have been several occasions when his car has been the fastest of the bunch. And I'd like to point out that 5 drivers won their first ever Winston Cup race in the Daytona 500. Andretti has never won a Winston Cup race.
His uncle won here in '67. Mario pulled it off in grand style for Holman Moody. You were here in '67, both of you guys, weren't you? When he tore one car right in half out here practicing.
I was not racing. That's the first year that I didn't race. That's when I.
Ken, I've been here for the first of any race that you've ever been in.
Oh.
Boy, that's 4 good ones up front there. Terry Labonte, though, has some strength in this race car, but I think he's going to get tested here pretty quick. You see Sterling Marlin moving in, but look at the racing back here.
Yeah, they're racing side by side back there, and that front group's about to run away. Bill Elliott gets around Mark Martin. There's Lake Speed down on the inside. He wants to go by Mark Martin. A lot of Fords in there together. There's Jeff Burton with a brand new Jack Roush team right up there beside of Dale Jarrett on the outside. Jarrett's car is the blue one with the orange numerals. But they're running side by side there in that front group about to pull away from them.
Yeah, that side by side is 9th. 8th is Elliott. No margin for error at 190 miles an hour around this 2.5-mile track. And the pressure on these drivers. Amazing. Stay with us. More to come. The great American race. Back with you at Daytona, and for the first time in this race, Sterling Marlin has assumed the lead. The first laps he's led 2 of them now. You see Andretti in second. Where is Earnhardt? He's falling back. He is out of the top 8, and here you see another move being made by Dale Jarrett to take him out of the top 10.
Again, very uncharacteristic. He just moved over and let the front group go, and he's falling back now.
There it was. That was third spot. And all of a sudden, John Andretti put the blitz on the inside. He was followed through by Schrader. Here comes Ricky Rudd. And here comes Dick Berggren to tell us more about this.
Well, we're going to let David Smith tell you what's going on with Dale Earnhardt. He's the brand new crew chief. David, what's happening?
Well, right now, just the way the draft's working out, Dick, it's just, a guy gets under your back end and gets you a little bit loose, and then everybody freight trains you. We're not, we're pretty good, but if somebody gets in the right place, they get you loose. So he'll just work his way back up again. He's not hollering a whole lot.
As long as he's not hollering. Ken Squier?
So that's at 78 laps, 195 miles. He's staying in the lead lap, but they're saying he doesn't want to be up in there.
Wait a minute, something happened to the 4 cars. Sterling Marlin off the pace, definitely.
Sterling Marlin attempting to be the first driver in history, and he's coming down through the gears.
Yeah, that spells big trouble there, it looks like. And the report is that maybe he has an engine problem.
Sterling Marlin's hopes for the 500 look like they're turning sour right now, as does his engine.
You could see him reach up and shut the switch off just at the end of turn 3 there. You could see smoke coming up in the cockpit of the race car there.
Third in points a year ago behind Gordon and Earnhardt in that great battle right down to the end of the season at Atlanta. It looks like it may be over for Sterling Marlin today for sure, with as many as 30 cars still in that lead draft. To go down a couple of laps here is going to hurt you bad. 73-74. Petty tried and failed. 83-84. Cale so close, and he failed. And now Sterling Marlin, and trying to become the first man to win it 3 in a row, sees it end early. Here's Mike Joy.
He's coasted in, Ken, and the engine is not running. Tony Glover goes to and his crew go to the hood pins. They're going to lift the hood. Sterling is not unhooking as of yet. And they're going to have a look inside. He may have crushed into somebody. They're looking down at the right front suspension. A little puff of oil smoke as he refires the motor. And a bit of smoke out the header pipe. They are not sure what's wrong just yet.
Boy, sounds pretty strong for something blown up to me.
Mystery surrounding car number 4, two-time defending 500 champion Sterling Marlin. John Andretti, no mystery. He's put that Ford right out in front. Is that our 11th different leader today, or had he led earlier? I think that's number 11. John Andretti. Watching Marlin there on the upper right of your screen as they continue to try and diagnose what's happened to the Morgan McClure car.
Terry Labonte wants to lead, but he couldn't quite do it. It might have cost him his second position.
That's his teammate. There's what a teammate will do. He'll pass you if he gets a shot. The Schrader's trying to get by on the outside.
Take a look at Earnhardt.
Yeah, he has come right just like his crew chief David Smith said he would do. Said he'll work his way back up there, and sure enough, here he comes.
Ned, what he probably did is just drop back enough to cool the tires and make another run. He was getting uncomfortable when the car got right up under the back of the car, meaning the car is a little bit loose. The back end tends to go towards the wall on him.
Terry Labonte moved back with Ken Schrader just in front of him. Up on this leader, Indianapolis, Indiana's John Andretti's won in midgets, won in sprints, won in the Silver Crown Series, won here in the 24 Hours of Daytona, won in sports car racing at Sebring. This is a guy that has that versatility, which is the mark of the Andretti family. Mike Joy with Sterling Marlin.
Runt Pittman says fire it up, and Sterling starts it again. They've looked in the back of the car, feeling the exhaust. Let's go back here where they're looking at a bit of oil smoke out the breather. Now Runt Pittman has leaned in. He's looking at a read at the gauges. Marlin just sits here in frustration.
Now, Rutt Pittman is the man who built that engine and has built those engines that have won the last 2 years. He is probably one of the finest engine builders in NASCAR.
Ken, look who's moved into 4th place. Bill Elliott is on the move right now. He runs this type of race. You see the red car there with the white front end on it.
I said probably. That's wrong. He is one of the best builders in NASCAR. And the Wood brothers, they're back in it another time. Michael Waltrip in this group, he's up to 8th position at this point. And here's Bill Elliott, the 94. Won this race twice, 85 and 87. And the McDonald's car having a great ride at the present time. Gets himself right up in the front 4.
Ned, look how still his hands are through the corners there. That car is really working well. Bill's a very patient race car driver. You see him reaching there, just adjusting stuff down the straightaway before he gets back in the corner again.
Looks very casual, just like he's driving down the road.
Bill Elliott chasing Andretti, Schrader, and Rudd. CBS Sports coverage of the Daytona 500 continues after this message and a word from your local station.
Or not.
CBS Sports presentation of the Daytona 500 is sponsored by Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics, Prime Star, mini dish satellite television, and by Dynomax, performance exhaust systems engineered by Walker.
There you see the front of the field being led by Indianapolis, Indiana's John Andretti. But the story is Sterling Marlin, 6 laps down. He's just made a lap, but come back to pit road or maybe coming back to pit road. More on that from Mike Joy.
Ken Sterling has brought the Morgan McClure car behind the wall. The man in the red sweatshirt is Runt Pittman, engine builder extraordinaire, and he is holding a pair of rocker arms. They have broken the rocker arms on the left side of the engine. They'll have to pull the cover and replace them. This is about a 10 to 12 minute repair. Dick Berggren?
Well, another guy with engine problems is the number 5 of Terry Labonte. Gary Dehart, what is wrong with your car?
I wish I knew. I think it may have a valve spring or something going in it. Something's locking up, or we thought it was the brakes holding a little bit, but it says the motor is surging a little bit, and we're thinking it might be a spring or something.
That's a shame. That was one of the strongest cars in practice and qualifying. Kent?
Yes, it was.
And that happened just not long after Sterling Marlin had his problem. Terry started dropping back, and we were covering the Marlin situation there and almost forgot about Terry Labonte, but he did drop right out of the lead draft.
Earnhardt has pulled up into 5th position. More from Mike Joy.
Sterling Marlin has a cockpit full of smoke and a heart full of ache. What happened?
Something in the motor broke. As soon as we got the lead and run 4 or 5 laps there, it just went sour, lost about 400 RPMs, broke rock arm, smoking real bad. I don't know.
How'd the car feel up till then?
Well, it was a little tight. Chassis was a little off, and man, we just got it fixed right where we wanted and got the lead. And I said, well, here we go again. But the engine broke on us.
All right, they'll try to fix it and get him back out for some Winston Cup points. Ken Squier.
So there's no three-peat. Richard couldn't do it. Cale, and now Sterling fails in his effort. Watching the front 5 come by. Andretti, Schrader, Rudd, Elliott, Earnhardt, front 5. And where's Rusty Wallace today? There's the number 2 right in there behind Morgan Shepherd. His new colors, number 75. Rusty Wallace in the 2 car.
Now they're about a quarter of a lap behind the leaders, Ken.
He's being shown in 27th position. He's still in the lead lap.
Oh, yes.
As is Shepherd.
Could use a caution flag to catch up. And there you see the cars passing Terry Labonte. He just doesn't have the speed on the straightaway, losing that cylinder.
In fact, Wallace has now he's lost a spot again. He had gone by Shepherd. Now Shepherd's gone back by him.
Well, you see Rusty dropping off just a little down the straightaways. The damage he got in the first wreck that he was in today, he spun and had some damage to the side of the car. And you know aerodynamics is everything here at Daytona. He may be just a little bit off there, or he may be just taking it a little easy right at the moment.
And Loy Allen, the number 19, is just in front of them. Loy is now being shown in 24th. Up in 23rd is Bobby Hamilton. Back with those leaders.
There we saw Ernie Irvin down on the inside. He's back out there just making some laps, many laps down.
But making a move to get himself out in front. That's Schrader.
Boy, Schrader's showing a lot of horsepower right now. He moved right to the bottom of John Andretti, but look at John. He says, hey, I enjoy running up front here at Daytona. He looks like he has a lot of race car. There's a story we're going to talk about in a little bit about John Andretti's car.
Look at that. Schrader right back by him another time, and here comes Andretti back to dish it out again on the high side.
And what this is going to do, it's going to tighten everybody up, and we're going to see some more side-by-side racing behind them because they sucked right up to them. You get 2 cars running side by side, and it really creates a wide draft.
Ford on the outside, Chevy on the inside, seesawing back and forth as you watch it live. 190-mile-an-hour fracas here. John Andretti has said racing to me is not fun if you're not winning. And that little impish smile must be from ear to ear as he goes for it. And here comes Earnhardt into it. And here comes Ricky Rudd and McDonald and everybody else. Oh, what a race.
Now, John Andretti done something very smart there. He looked in his mirror. He could see Earnhardt coming. He tucked right in behind Schrader. Now Earnhardt's out to dry again on the outside.
Schrader back into the lead another time. 11 different leaders if you're just joining us in this 38th edition of this American Racing Classic, the Daytona 500. There you see the laps led by car category. Pontiac still has to score a lap in front. Their best hope in the race, Ward Burton, in trouble in the Bill Davis number 22 car. And the battle is all Ford and Chevy right now. Look at Mark Martin pulling along back into this thing. And here comes Bill Elliott in the 94. Out in front it's Schrader, then Andretti, then Earnhardt, then even a cross between a couple of Fords. Back there as they dice for Ford.
You can see Mark Martin making a move. Bill Elliott, as we ride down the front straightaway here, he's showing a lot of muscle right in the middle part of the race here. You can see him going in right on the white line, going in the corner. Good race car.
237.5 miles are down, moving toward the midway point. Dale Jarrett's back another time in the 88. The quality care Ford, credit Ford, exerting some muscle and back to 6th position. And remember, just a few laps ago, he was out of the top 10.
He's actually moved up to 5th right now, so he has gradually worked his way back up there. They made a big adjustment on that car during the last pit stop. Seemed to help him.
See Martin's Valvoline Ford, Roush Racing, giving us these great shots. Mark Martin's another one that's been a bit star-crossed here at Daytona. But what a racer he is. And Arkansas is so proud of him. A dozen dozen of them at halfway, bumper to bumper, in the 38th annual Daytona 500. With Ken Schrader out of Fenton, Missouri, currently in the lead. Indiana's Andretti second. North Carolina's Earnhardt maintaining third. Georgia's pride, Bill Elliott, in fourth.
Big prize coming up here at the halfway mark. They're jockeying, trying to get themselves in position to take, what is it, like $20,000? Big prize, I don't know. It's a lot to me if it's more than 1,000. 10,000.
Sterling Marlin back out another time here at Daytona. We're back at Daytona, facing off for halfway in this one. Who's going to take that bonus? Schrader is right there. John Andretti coming after Chevy Ford again up in front as they come down to the line. This is for the halfway mark in the race. Everybody watching as they come to the strike.
It's a $10,000 bonus.
Yeah. Look at Andretti cutting to the inside. Andretti moving up through, and here comes Earnhardt as well. But the halfway mark, the cross flags, went to Schrader for $10,000.
Bill Elliott there making a move on Schrader now. He's trying to get up in the mix here.
Tell you what, whenever you put an extra prize up in a race, those drivers just seem to perk up. Makes a whole different race out of it for a moment or two. Schrader just stuck it out there and collected that extra money.
Ned Jarrett moving in there. He's trying to move up and get himself in position.
Ned, I can remember stories from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where they used to put up a free barbecue at the Piggy Park, and Baker'd go by 5 guys, about 2 laps.
Absolutely, get a free barbecue. Yeah, there's 4 cars singling out, trying to pull away. Andretti the leader, of course. Earnhardt second, Bill Elliott third, Dale Jarrett in 4th place.
I'm amazed at John Andretti. I'm not really amazed. I mean, they've run well all week long. Their practices have been good. In every training period, that car really looks stout.
He has a fast race car. There's some fast race cars as well. That's Ken Schrader there on the left of the screen. He's running in 5th place. Mark Martin is 6th. Ted Musgrave is 7th. See, they aren't far behind the others. They haven't. The others haven't pulled away at all. There they are, right back over there. Michael Waltrip.
Ricky Rudd back in that lead group. And let me ask you folks, You particularly, Ned, you've seen so many up here with us. What do you think of the first half of this race?
I think it's been what we expected. A lot of good close racing. The cars seem to be pretty equal out there. Depends on who gets a break or who has the right chassis set up at a particular time. But we still got lots of cars in the lead lap, and this thing is far from over.
You nailed it right at the outset when you said it would be a Chevy Ford showdown, and they just keep swapping those manufacturer marks back and forth throughout this thing, buddy.
Well, what I'm seeing right now, the patient drivers that didn't get in a hurry right at the first part of the race. Now they've had a couple of pit stops. They've worked on the cars, and you can see them coming to the forefront, just like Bill Elliott. He's moved himself into third place now. Don't be surprised if this man's not right up there at the end.
Okay, Ford, Chevy, Ford, 1, 2, 3 in the Daytona 500. Pleasure to be here with one of the all-time giants of American racing, Ned Jarrett, two-time Winston Cup champion, and an old buddy who, boy, I'll tell you, 1980 here on CBS, just had that thing flying and gave us the fastest 500 ever at 177-mile-an-hour average. Check in with David Hobbs.
Well, I'm down with Larry McReynolds, of course, Ernie Irvin's crew chief, but now you're down in Dale Jarrett's pit. Is this a team effort?
Well, as we've said all week, that we're one race team fielding 2 cars, and it's unfortunate for the Texaco Havoline Ford. I think we was going to have an awfully good car today, and somebody checked up in front of Earnhardt, and Earnhardt checked up, and we hit Dale, and somebody hit us, and so I come down here, and anything I can help Todd Parrott and his Quality Care Ford team do to pull this Daytona 500 off, that's what I'm here to do. And just take care of Ernie, just keep him out there making laps. Again, it's early in this Winston Cup points chase, but if we can help Dale Jarrett win this race, that's what we're going to do.
Dale's coming up through the field again. We heard he had some front fender damage. Is the car okay now?
Yeah, it's got the car pushing just a little bit, or the front end won't quite stick like it should. We're going to make a few adjustments on this pit stop, you know. Right now, as long as this car's pushing, you can still hang on, so we got to be careful and not get the car loose, because that's when you'll lose the draft.
Okay, well, we'll see you later on, Larry.
I hope so.
Now down to Mike Joy.
Well, David, we're coming up on the first green flag pit stop of the day, and a drafting partner is so important on the track. You need a partner to pit with as well. Here in Ricky Rudd's pit, they've sent an emissary up and down pit road to find a pit stop partner. I've got a note from Bill Elliott's pit. They're looking to do the same thing, and they're right next door. I think I'll introduce them. Ken?
Now, why would you need a pit stop partner, Mike? Why would that become important here?
So that as you exit the pits, you have someone else to draft with. If one car gets back up to speed by itself, it's some 5 miles an hour slower than if you have a drafting partner or two. So if you pit in tandem and go back out that way, you get back up to full speed fastest and don't lose a draft.
And there's the story, folks, from Mike Joy. Ned?
And also, once they get up to full speed, if you're coming out of the pits, boy, they'll blow by you so fast that you can't pick up the draft. So you need someone to help you.
Ned, there's almost a full second's difference in a car that has a drafting partner and one out there by itself. That's the main thing. You have to have somebody to keep that speed up while those lead cars are all hooked up running around the racetrack.
And of course, the big story here, pit stop under green. We'll be giving you some split screen action so you can keep track of these things. But here's where you're going to see teamwork play the vital role that it does in Winston Cup racing, because the driver will get a break for about 12 seconds. That's 135-degree heat out there in that cockpit he's fighting right now while he's fighting with all these other drivers. So he gets a timeout, maybe 12 seconds. And if one guy makes a mistake on pit road and costs him a second, that costs him 300 feet on the track. So you want to be on your toes, and those veteran crews that have been together a while. And I might point out that John Andretti's crew has now been together for 2 years, and they have spent some of this time in the winter period preparing for just such a moment as this.
Ricky Rudd coming into the pits now as Dave Marcus, Chad Little, and Robert Presley go out. So pit stops.
Rudd in 11th position as he comes onto pit road.
There was Presley getting his speed up as the leaders went by, so he went a lap down. Bobby Hamilton and Richard Petty's car is also going out of the pits.
Grissom and Dahlin back in. And here's Mike Joy.
Ricky Rudd is in. Pat Trice and Randy Usher carry the tires around for Dave Anthony and Bill Johnson to change. John Bryan has the car in the air. Randy Hildreth first can of gas. Carl Larson with the second can. Chris Pinto on the catch can. Around to the left side. Crew Chief Richard Groom is upstairs spotting. Ross Friesinger runs things here in the pit. Left side tires going on. Wipe of the grill to clean it off. One down, and he is away. Ken?
Andretti stays first. Elliott goes to second. Critical time in the race. Kenny Wallace has just pitted. Bobby Labonte in and out. Brett Bodine making his pit stop. This all under green as you follow the leaders coming down out of turn number 2 with Andretti in first. Elliott in second. And back to third comes Dale Jarrett.
Boy, that's 3 Fords up front. It's been a long time since you've seen a Ford able to run a full gas stop and still be in front. They have good downforce this year. Boy, they're going to be tough.
Some of them coming into the pits. Bill Elliott, all of them coming into the pits.
All of them coming in.
There's your partners.
Yep. Pick you one. And they'll pick the one who makes a pit stop equal to them. Some of these will make better pit stops than others.
And the square dance begins on pit road. We follow Elliott onto pit road. Andretti is in. Andretti already up. All of them coming to a halt here. Here's Mike Joy.
On the right front of Bill Elliott's car, Joe Garoni, who used to work with the Rick Corelli Super Truck effort. Charles Wright on the rear, Jerry Lum with the jack, Jimmy Penland with the gas. This is a fast stop. 2 tires for Elliott. Here's Dick Bergeron.
Lots of new guys on Earnhardt's pit. The front tires used to be Andy Petrie. This time is Gene Dehart. Mike Morris, the jack man, he's new today, and they had a tough pit stop. David Hodge.
Well, that was a quick pit stop for Dale Jarrett. They changed all 4 tires, cleaned the wire on the front, and of course they put a couple of turns in that left rear spring to try and get rid of some of that push. You've got the left front, the right front fender is just slightly damaged, which is giving that push. They tried to alleviate it by changing the rear weight. Back to you, Ken.
You see Earnhardt back to speed, and here's number 7 in trouble on pit road being pushed, and there's bigger problems than.
You can see the overflow there coming back from the radiator. It was running a little bit hot while he was stopped there. You could see it spewing water out. That gets the driver's attention when it goes up on the windshield like that.
Hut Strickland on pit road. Here's Mike.
Here's that Cale Yarborough-owned car. Cale is up on top of the truck spotting today. Jeremy Mayfield behind the wheel as Fuzz Bergdorf knows the right sides. Jack Van comes around. That's Robert Fisher. Al Allen is done on the right rear. Jamie Bishop gets the second can of gas in. Left side, wheels and tires are on. 5 lug nuts. Down goes the jack, and away goes Jeremy.
Nice stop.
And the leader coming down pit road, John Andretti. Well, see, he was down pit road there a moment ago, was he not?
I thought he was the first one.
I thought he came in with the lead.
Yeah.
He came in with the lead.
Second time
Here he is
in.
back on pit road. Wow, this will be a costly situation.
Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, they're working on the right side of the car. Darrell Andrews is over there working on it with a couple of the other men. They have changed the right rear tire. Tim Brewer, what happened?
Tire changer didn't get the right rear wheel tight.
Oh, boy. Right rear wasn't on tight. They had to come back in and do it again.
That's what we were talking about before these green flags stopped, and it was an extra stop for John Andretti. So he has to stitch up his morale and try to come back into this thing from a lap down. We'll see about that.
He will probably go a lap down because the leaders are in the same corner. As he comes off and starts down the back straightaway, the leaders are in the middle of number 1 and 2 corner.
All of that drafting strategy they were planning, nobody came out with anybody else out there. Bill Elliott has a big advantage right now over Dale Jarrett.
This race summary is sponsored by Texaco Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Controls volatility and fights vaporization.